Now then, let's not waste any time. I heard from Petrol that the fossil excavation mission at Mount Moon was wrecked by the workings of two little kid trainers. Now, between the fact that Petrol is the weakest of my sorry bunch of rocket admins, and that the mission team consisted of complete and utter rookie grunts, it still boggles my mind to the core how in the deepest depths of Giratino's hell a pair of pre-tween could beat up an entire squad of full-grown men and run away with these spoils right in front of their goddamn eyes. I mean, for crying out loud, Ariana, little kids, how freaking absurd is this?
It's very absurd, Giovanni.
Now, having finished berating Petrol for his incompetence, he tells me that you were the grunt standing guard by the fossils. He said that you fought the stronger of the twerps and that you maybe even fared better against them than any of the other asshats on the team. This is why I've called you in here. I want you to tell me everything you know about this kid, every little detail, every little minutia you happen to glean from your battle with him. I want to have the twerp thoroughly profiled so we can see to it that he'll never dare mess with Team Rocket again. Let's start with the basics. I see. Red, eh? What a ridiculous name. Charmeleon and the other one running around with a war turtle. Why, those are warfare Pokemon for Christ's sakes. What kids could have access to these, and officially licensed Pokemon trainers no less? Who could these kids' parents be? I have a bad feeling about these two. This red character especially. We'll have to keep our eyes open if he comes our way again. Do you hear me? Whoever these rich kids are, I swear, they're a dangerous breed.
It is reported that gym leader Blaine will be visiting Giovanni by another grunt. Giovanni is kind enough to let me attend the meeting, which I appreciated a lot because learning about the inner workings of Team Rocket was a big responsibility. I'll learn about how Blaine produces Porygon for Team Rocket so that we can sell them in our game corner to make money. However, the Porygon copyright is reserved for Silphco, which means Blaine is making Porygon illegally. With Mr. Fuji finding out about Team Rocket's business in the Pokemon Tower, he's warned all of his colleagues to remain vigilant. Blaine needs to protect his gym leader reputation, so for the time being, he can be seen making Porygon. While not ideal, Blaine was about to suggest Professor Oak to help with Porygon, but Giovanni erupted out of his seat, rejecting the notion immediately, calling him a traitor. Oak must have had a shady past for Giovanni to react this way. Our next option would have to be Bill, as he's sure to have nicked himself a copy of Porygon. He's described to be an eccentric and unpredictable kid, and apparently he's done jobs for Team Rocket before, but he always asks for ridiculous compensation. Nevertheless, we have to make do as we have no other option. So my next mission is set in stone.
Random. I want you to visit Bill, north of Cerulean, and offer him a temporary job producing Porygon for Team Rocket. Tell him he can ask for any compensation within reason. I want you to rendezvous with another Team Rocket squad on another mission in Cerulean, as my admin in charge there will give you some items so that we can tempt Bill. Run along now.
A mission straight from the boss himself. We are moving up quick. I head outside where Ronnie rambles about his new mission in Cerulean about stealing TMs from a collector. That must be the broken into house in the base game. The way they are reworking things and tying them together is really good. I report to the secret base we have set up in the daycare of all places, and it turns out the daycare is just a front for them to take the Pokemon and force breed them to create eggs that Team Rocket can sell. That is insane. I collect Bill's package and make my way to his house, and along the way, I stole a Zubat from Camper Flint for myself and named it Devastator. Look, I feel bad about stealing, but this is the only game where I can steal a Pokemon, so let me do it in peace. I meet Bill and lay out the terms for him, which he merely scoffs at as the things he was offered were not valuable at all. Shiny Magikarp, rare candies, SSN tickets, and even a salary weren't enough to tempt this guy. He puts forward his own terms. He is to receive the rarest sample of Pokemon we acquire, whether it be through catching, cloning, breeding, or however we do it. He also wants intel on Sylph, as there have been rumors about Sylph being on the brink of creating a new type of Pokeball, and he knows we have spies in Sylph as well. As I prepare to leave to relay Bill's terms to Giovanni, Bill comes up with another condition, one that would remain secret between us. He wants us to be his Team Rocket contact. He gives me a cell phone and states that he'll be checking in on me to inquire about stuff that he might be interested in. He also asks me if I know about the Mewtwo project, which I don't, so with that he lets me leave. As I'm heading back to Cerulean, I come across Blue and I was terrified. I thought this was a mandatory loss like the red battle, but surprisingly I was making headway in the fight. When he brought out War Turtle, I was reminded of something Giovanni said, something along the lines of War Turtle and Charmeleon being wartime Pokemon. This would explain the rarity of these starters and would explain why Oak would be the one handing them out to Red and Blue, as it's hinted he has some sort of involvement in the war. Details like this really make me immerse myself into the game even more. Surprisingly, my Poliwag overpowers his War Turtle and I won the fight. I meet Ronnie as he's still high off the adrenaline from his robbery mission, and as we were heading down to our base, the police arrived at the crime scene at Cerulean, which caused us to quickly run in order to avoid being spotted. We report back to Executive Archer to alert him of the involvement from the police. Just then, a media broadcast breaks through. The media interviewed the collector and his daughter about the robbery, from which the police could derive that Team Rocket was the one behind the robbery because a certain green-haired grunt couldn't keep his hands to himself and robbed the daughter's Pokemon. What a dumbass. Champion Lance then succeeds the previous broadcast, reaffirming his citizens that he will deal harsh punishment to Team Rocket and place a bounty system on them. Grunts can also choose to relinquish their criminal past and start over if they have no bounty for an extended period. Best thing about this is that since my 2 stolen Pokemon were before the bounty system's introduction, as of now I have no bounty on my head. Incredible.